So in a sense, I'm not looking for batches right now. What I'm looking is for a valuation type. Okay, so in this box here at the top with the folder, we have several options. We have valuation type for material or batches for material. In this case, we're looking for valuation types. We're not looking for batches because this is not blood or vaccines. This is a computer tablet. We're going to click on OK, and let's see what options we have here. So here you go. We have new spares, old spares, depending on the material that we're looking for. So these here with 12, these are for spare parts, for example, or expendables, but not for the equipment. So I can always click on the goggles and see what I have available for this type of material, 21039. And let's see if the system has that. It may not even be displayed because of the amount of options that I have here displayed. I only see the expendables. Okay, but since we know that we're dealing with a piece of equipment that has been used, we could always just type it in. And these are the options. If I click on the space bar, we see that I have new spares, new supply, old spares. So for anything that is equipment, we have to add supply, right? Either new or old. Versus if it's expendables, we're adding new spares or old spares. So in this case, we're returning to stock material that is old. So we're adding old supply. You can just type this in as well. Okay, you can do old_sup. And that should be enough. We click on enter and let's see what the system tells me now. No warning messages, no blocking, nothing. It seems like we're good to go. We see here that little M sign here for movement allowed. In this case, I can even click on it. I don't think it's going to allow me to do this because I'm not the approver or if this reservation needs an approval per se. But let's skip that step for now. Let's go and see what the exercise tells us to do. So once we have added that, it tells us also we can click on the magnifying glass to see details on this item. We'll do that in a second. And then it simply tells me to save and the reservation number is created. Okay, so let's do that. We go back. Let's click on the magnifying glass first. And we see all details related to this piece of equipment that I'm receiving to stock now. 3101, quantity 1, the requirement date, fund 10 UNA, the cost center, the GL account linked to it, inventory, recipient, batch, old supply. The only thing that I'm missing is maybe to add the movement allowed at this point. Now, if you already have that role and you're able to approve the reservation in one shot, then maybe you can just click on movement allowed, save, and you have your reservation and it's approved already. So you can just jump into Migo. But in this case, let's leave that out of the way. We go back. And now that we have our reservation set up, we click on save and let's see what the system tells us. It should probably say that our reservation now is posted, right? And the number is 5796. So we have our reservation number done. And that is also a piece of information that I should add to my notification, right? To prove that the reservation has been done. Okay, so now that I have done the reservation and I have created it, I know that we've gone very slowly at the beginning. I just wanted to go over the notification process, make sure you guys are all following. Excuse me if I'm going too slow, but rather go slow and understand them fast and have you all lost. The hour has passed. It's an hour and 5 minutes now. Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break? And we jump back in if you want to grab coffee, water, and so on. And we'll be back at 11:10 or 11:11.
Brian?
Uh-huh.
Just a minute, sorry to interrupt before we go for the break. Pietro gave his 2 cents to this and shared that in most of the cases, when you create a return, the valuation type should be old because the equipment, the piece of equipment, that means that has been used. And especially in this liquidation process that we are discussing about. So thanks a lot, Pietro, for sharing. And I just wanted to not to forget, because sometimes the apportations in the chat, many people maybe cannot read them, so I wanted to share as well. Nicola, talking about the segregation of duties of the roles, he told that exceptions on roles are usually raised and managed locally at mission level. For example, these exceptions can be granted or denied by local SLOs based on the impact, especially financial, on these transactions. So there can be exceptions, but granted by SLOs at admission level. And Josefa asked if you have both roles, do you have to log in and log out of the system when you are transacting or using Umoja? The answer is no. You don't have to. If you have both roles, you can proceed with the transactions without logging in and logging off. And in fact, this will happen in some of the exercises that they will receive. They will have one user per all the roles in some of the exercises, for example, write off, and you don't have to log off and log in anytime, and you will see that it's faster. But you have to understand that each task is performed by a different role, even if the user that you are using is the same. So I think that's it.
Very good. Thanks, Sol, for the great explanation. Exactly right. I think it's very clear what you guys have been talking about. And to go back to Pietro's comment, so eventually